stars.
He seemed like a genuine guy, I mean, he was funny, he was charming. He was very rough, I would say. Very rough. And, the best way I can describe it is he's almost zoned out into a different person. He did place his hand around my neck. And I quickly it freaked me out. Very forceful.
Is that terrifying to you now, knowing that that's how he admitted to killing his wife, choking her, and he had his hands on your neck?
Yeah.
Did you believe that she was happy?
Absolutely.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. She was extremely happy.
Hello and welcome to the Patreon channel of True Crime Rocket Science. This is Christopher Watts' What Else Do We Know? Episode 21. For the first time, this is on the Patreon channel. It's been moved from the YouTube channel. So I'm at this point not sure if it's going to stay on the number $1 tier, but for now let's just continue on as per usual. Now you may recall the previous part of the timeline we dealt with ended off on point number 70 in November 2018. I actually didn't even deal with that particular point. It was basically where Chris Watts took his mistress on the weekend of July 28th and 29th to the Great Sand Dunes National Park. So I never really dealt with that. There are a couple of interesting things that come out of that, which is, when you think about when Chris left Colorado to go to North Carolina, where was he on the last night, right? So in other words, the very last night that he spent in Colorado, which was July 30th, which is the day after they got back from the sand dunes, where did he spend the night? And the answer is obviously he spent the night at Kessinger. But we also know that he made the card for her, which he probably made in his home. The other thing is, according to him, he sourced the oxycodone or OxyContin from the basement, which means he had to have taken the oxycodone from home and then gone to Kessinger with it, right? And so that's kind of where the premeditation is going on. Of course, it's possible that he drove from Kessinger's home back to his home, picked up the oxycodone, and then went to the airport. I don't think that's likely, though, because he left fairly early for the airport. It was quite an early flight. Now, I'm not sure whether the conspiracy theorists have mentioned this, but if you didn't believe that, so if you didn't believe that Chris Watts got the oxycodone from home, then you could, and you knew that he slept at Kessinger's home, that was his last port of call before going to North Carolina. And if you accept that the first thing he did when he got there was basically attempt to bring about a miscarriage, attempt to poison Shanann with the oxycodone, then you could very well bring in this hypothesis that Kessinger was actively trying to, being an accessory of sorts. You could make that argument, but I don't think it would really work, because you could say, well, first of all, you'd have to say, well, Kessinger knew about the pregnancy. Second of all, you'd have to say, her saying to Chris Watts, I want you to bring about the miscarriage because I want to marry you. I find that a little bit hard to believe. I guess it's possible. I guess some people might think that way. But yeah, it's certainly not what I believe. And anyway, so that is the sort of conclusion of the November section of the chronology. Okay, I'm not really going to go into that whole Oxy thing too much because we have gone into it before, and we've got quite a lot to go through now. We're going to go through the December 2018 chronology, just the first 10 points, and you heard the audio from the beginning where you heard Amanda McMahon, and I don't know what you think about that. Do you think that she's a factor in this case? And what do you think? What do you think is the explanation for that? I kind of get she kind of comes across. Hey guys, that's a teaser for the half-hour episode that's available on Patreon. So if you're on lockdown, you're looking for some new content, new analysis that you perhaps haven't seen before, maybe think about heading on to Patreon/TCRS. Thank you for listening. Stay safe, stay healthy, wash those hands, and I'll see you guys next time.